Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme. Moussa Dembele is in London for a knee scan and not heading to Stamford Bridge. Billy Mackay returns to Inverness Caley Thistle, and we have the draw for the Scottish Junior Cup 5th round. Yeah, that's all to look forward to. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin. I'm delighted to say our boot room guest is Danny Rogers, the Falkirk goalkeeper. Great to have you on, Danny. We will talk Falkirk in a minute, and of course what you're doing and your hopes for the future very shortly. Of course, transfer day, you're going to be involved in it at some point in the future. Ruffy, by the time tonight comes, players that we thought were rock solid, staying at a club, you just never know what can happen when money's on the table.
Yeah, you're right, and it looks as if the way things are going, that the clubs are going for players they know or have been there before, you know, and that's the way it seems to be. You know, nobody's taking a chance with anybody they don't really know. Money's tight, and I'm sure there will be 2 or 3 moves later on tonight.
Yep, okay, let's cut to the chase on what we know so far. And first and foremost, I think, when you read the headline of Moussa Dembele at 40 million, Ruffy, you know, we're living in strange times where there are various back page headlines that I look at and I'm just slightly sceptical. I don't think Moussa Dembele is a £40 million player yet.
Yeah. No, I think he's proved himself a wee bit in European football. I think if he was to do it again in the next couple of years, he certainly would be a 40 million player if he scores the goals that we saw in the European stage. I think he would be, but I think not another year under his belt in European football, and I think it can only be good for him because certainly these clubs are aware of what he can do at that level. Yeah,
slowly but surely, when you think about it, Danny, at 20 years of age, you know, I think he's managed to get something like 19 goals in 38 games. I mean, his strike rate is attracting attention, but many people suggest that it's better maybe to stay and get yourself another, maybe even a half season to the summer with Celtic, or beyond that, another season.
Yeah, obviously he's done unbelievable, and I think it was a steal for Celtic to get him for 500 grand, which was just a compensation fee, but I don't think he'll do himself any harm staying and maybe even getting Champions League football again next year. Because if he goes to the likes of Chelsea and those big teams, he'll do very well to even get a game. So I think it's a smart move for him to stay. But if Celtic can get 40 million from him, I'm sure they'll snap their hands off.
Yeah, I don't think by the end of the day, Ruffy, it'll be you know, the end of some of the deals that could be done at Celtic. I think Brendan Rodgers and the chief executive Peter Law will be looking to try and get players out and off the wage bill too.
Yeah, I was saying there are certain players there that aren't going to get regular games from now to the end of the season. It's up to the individual player whether he wants to sit in his backside or go out and show everybody what he actually can do. But I think the winners out of this whole scenario at Celtic are the supporters. There seems to be a dramatic change in the way they're looking at players in and players out, and the good thing for the Celtic supporters are there's nobody going out. Whereas before, any reasonable bid that came in, they were gone. So supporters are the ones that are getting the benefit.
Yeah, and with that in mind, you always read into a manager's words. Brendan Rodgers, after the game in midweek against Hearts, suggested that, you know, Leigh Griffiths was picking up, you know, silly injuries and he needs to work hard on his fitness. This was his take on the Celtic striker today.
I've said to him is about making sure that talent is a working talent, because talent's not good enough on its own. It's not good enough on its own. You have to work at it, and there's this, and it's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's one where when he's playing and fit, he's very good, but can still work harder in training. The problem is if you're not getting the games, and then if you're not then quite on it in training, then you're losing fitness. But then the moment you're asked to come in and get up to speed in a real high tempo, intense game, the moments that are there for you to risk injury are far greater. I think you've seen lots of players come into my team and not break down, and that's an incredible applause to them in terms of how well they've been working.
Well, that's an interesting insight, Ruffy.
Yeah, I thought this might have been a problem with Leigh Griffiths when you are the number one striker, and let's not kid ourselves on. He was the number one striker, 40 goals, the idol of the fans. You know, anything he touched hit the back of the net. And then, when you drift out of things and you're not the number one, you need to be a special guy to sort of get your head around that. And unfortunately for Leigh, he hasn't really proved that. You know, there was a time when he was nearly out the door because of exactly what Brendan Rodgers is talking about there, but he got his head down and it worked for him. So I think it's really just a mental thing, that he's not the number one now, he's not the fans' favourite, it's other people, and he has to get his head around that. We know he's got the ability, but he's not getting the chance to prove it, and I think it's all about him that's got to sort it out.
Yeah, and as a player, Danny, I'm sure you can relate to that, because that's something, you know, from a keeper's perspective that you've had to look at when you're at Aberdeen. Obviously, you're getting regular football now at Falkirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Leigh Griffiths is probably feeling a bit hard done by, considering what he's done for Celtic Football Club. But as you said, it's just mental. You need to kind of toughen up and put the work in off the pitch, even in training and after training in the gym and that. And obviously Brendan Rodgers is saying that he's not doing it, so I think he just needs to toughen up and prove himself to get back in there.
Yeah. What was your state of mind, obviously, because you're at Aberdeen, you know Joe Lewis is in there as the number one. What conversation did you have with the manager, obviously, to get the chance to, you know, to go and say, I want to play regular football? How did that come about?
Well, I went back in the first day of pre-season and he sat me down and just said, this was after my last year at Falkirk, and he said, well, look, I've got two options. You can be number two or you can go out on loan. And it was a no-brainer for me. I didn't want to be number two, because Joe Lewis is a highly rated goalkeeper, and I knew at the time if the manager's going to sign him, he's going to play him. It'd be tough for me to get a game. So I decided to go out on loan, and then Falkirk obviously came back in and I went there. Happy with how it's going, but I think next season now I've had a year at Dumbarton, 2 years at Falkirk, so I think I need to step up next year and hopefully challenge Joe for the number one jersey.
Yeah, I mean, that's the predicament, Ruffy. There is a moment where you have to look and say, okay, am I going to cut it? Am I going to get it at that club? Do I have to go and build my career elsewhere?
Yeah, everybody wants to play at the top, you know, and Danny's been out on loan for a while now. We saw him at Dumbarton against Hibs, where he was man of the match, and he's obviously worked on that, and he's now at Falkirk. And everybody wants to be number one. He'll be looking at the boy Hamilton at Hearts saying, like, I'm as good as him, I could be playing first team football. But you've got to be given that chance. You've got to, you know, you either take a gamble and go somewhere else, or you think, I'm going to go to Aberdeen and be number one. And it's a decision that obviously Danny's got to make, but also the manager as well.
Yeah, you're at Falkirk at the moment. I think he's starting to get it together again. That was a good win at the weekend.
Yeah, just about. I think we've been relatively lucky because we haven't been up to our normal standards this season, but I don't think anyone has. So we're still in the bout. We're only 6 points off second. So I think if we can go on a run now, we can easily get second. I think playoffs, if we don't make the playoffs, it'll be a disaster, but I'm quite confident that we're getting the playoffs.
This month coming up is huge for you. You've got 3 big games coming up. Doesn't get any better. Dunfermline first of them.
Yeah, really looking forward to the game on Saturday. Always good games against them, and they haven't beat us this season, so hopefully we can keep it that way. But we need 3 points, I think, at the weekend, because they're flying at the moment. They've picked up some really good form. So 3 points at the weekend would be great confidence for us.
Ruffy, don't be dismayed by this, but you know you won't be surprised that you're not Danny's favourite goalkeeper or most inspirational goalkeeper.
Well, I hope it's somebody that's been to 3 World Cups. So,
you know. and I have to say, Ruffy, I'm going to put you on a complete downer here. It's somebody that's won a World Cup as well.
That's okay. Yeah.
Go on then, enlighten us.
Iker Casillas.
You happy with that, Ruffy?
Can't beat that. Yep, I think he's
You're up
superb.
there with him.
Yeah, he's up there now.
That's a brilliant pat on the head. You're up there with him, but not quite.
No, it's a good choice. I think he's superb as well. I think he's the goalkeeper. Nobody's talking about him because he just does what he has to do. He's not flashy. He's not flying about doing these saves that he could just touch around the post. He's an excellent keeper.
Yep, absolutely.
He's not 6'5" like myself.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's why you got to look up to him. Okay, we are going to talk more with Danny Rogers and discuss more about his predicament at Falkirk and obviously his teammates there at Aberdeen. After the break, we're going to bring you the Junior Cup draw. Ruffy and myself were out there at the City Chambers in Glasgow for the Junior Cup fifth round draw. We will also discuss more of the movers and shakers in the transfer market. The window closes tonight. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. It's always difficult on this programme when you get two goalkeepers. There's a chemistry there that's just not there with me. It's as simple as that. They just start to talk about the same things, same mentality. Alan Ruff alongside Danny Rogers of Falkirk. We'll talk more about Danny very shortly, and we'll look ahead to the games taking place tonight and tomorrow in the Premiership in Scotland, as well as discuss more of the deals as they come in. Let's switch our attention to the juniors, because earlier today we were out there, Ruffy and myself, at the City Chambers in Glasgow. It was the Scottish Cup Junior Cup, just to be precise on it, the Scottish Junior Cup fifth round draw. To the City Chambers here in Glasgow. I'm Peter Martin. I'm absolutely delighted that we are conducting the Scottish Junior Cup fifth round draw here in the heart of Glasgow. We've got two legends here on my left hand side. I'm delighted to say Alan Ruff is here, a former manager of a Junior Cup winning team. Ruffy?
Yeah, very fortunate to have a good 3 seasons we've gone after, and we got 3 finals in a row, so I know what it means to the guys sitting here today.
Yep, there's a lot of people obviously keen to see what number you're going to haul out of that bag there, Frank. You're going to pick the home teams. It's got a great and tremendous tradition, and of course this trophy goes all the way back to 1886.
It's one of the great football trophies in Scotland, and the fact that there's still 2 Glasgow sides in the draw excites me. One of them is one of the junior teams from my local area, so best of luck.
Okay, let me explain to you what's going to happen. Frank, the leader of the council, is going to pick out the home tie, and Ruffy will pick out the away teams. Let me first of all take you through the numbers associated with the teams. Number 1 is Auchinleck Talbot. Number 2 is Carluke Rovers. 3 Dunbar. 4 Gartcairn. 5 Glenafton. 6 Kelty Hearts. 7 Kilwinning Rangers. Number 8 is Linlithgow Rose. 9 is Lunkerty. 10 Maryhill. 11 Pennycook Athletic. Number 12 is Peters Hill. And 13 Renfrew. 14 Sauchie. And then a couple of ties still to be determined. But it's number 15 Kirkintilloch Rob Roy or Musselburgh. And number 16 Kilsyth Rangers or Bonnyrigg Rose. Delighted to have you here at the City Chambers. We're ready for the fifth round draw. And first of all, Frank will pull out the first number for us, please.
The first number is 10.
Number 10 is Maryhill.
Number 8.
Number 8, they'll play Linlithgow Rose. Number 3 is Dunbar.
We'll play number 5.
We'll play number 5, Ruffy's old club, Glenafton.
Number 11.
Number 11, Pennycook Athletic.
We'll play number 15.
Kirkintilloch Rob Roy or Musselburgh.
Number 1.
Number 1 is Auchinleck Talbot.
We'll play number 9.
Number 9, Lunkerty.
Number 6.
Number 6, Kelty Hearts.
We'll play number 7.
We'll play number 7, Kilwinning Rangers.
Team number 4.
Gartcairn.
We'll play number 2.
Carluke Rovers.
Number 13.
Renfrew.
We'll play number 14.
Sauchie.
Number 12.
Petershill,
We'll play number 16.
Kilsyth Rangers or Bonnyrigg Rose. And that concludes the draw for the 5th round of the Junior Cup. These ties will be played on the 18th of February with a 2:15 kick-off. Ruffy, an impeccable draw there. Great to know that you decided to abstain from being out on the lash before you actually pulled the numbers out here. We've got a great draw and some brilliant ties.
Yeah, we certainly have. Lots of teams there with past record of winning the tournament. It's good to see a lot of teams, not usually in the last 16, and I'm sure a lot of them will be happy that some of the bigger teams have got away draws.
Okay, we'd like to thank, first of all, the Secretary of the Scottish Junior FA, Tom Johnson, for inviting us to conduct the draw. Thank you to Frank McAveety and the Glasgow City Council for allowing us the splendour of the City Chambers here to conduct the 5th round draw. Good luck to all the teams in the draw. From Frank McAveety, from Alan Ruff and myself, Peter Martin, thanks for watching. So, yeah, it all went smoothly, Ruffy. There was no antics from you. I was a little bit worried about that. And of course, Frank didn't want to go to the toilet during in case he picked up a red card as well, you know. So we covered all bases in that draw, just in case we were going to get any flack.
Yeah, but it was a good draw. Obviously, the junior boys out there, we want to stay away from Auchinleck and Kelty and Bonnyrigg, obviously, in the Scottish Cup. But you're going to give somebody a special mention.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to give a mention to all the guys from Gartcairn out there, the Airdrie way, because 18 months that club has just been in existence, and it's very rare that you see a new club emerge on the junior scene. So I wish them all the best, Ruffy. We need more like them.
Yep, all credit to the committee, because they're the main people, you know, that have to run it. There's a lot involved in junior football, as I keep repeating myself. It's a community involvement, and if you can get a team out there within your community and do well, they'll come and support you, and let's hope they do well in the next round.
Okay, let's switch our attention back to football. There is indeed football tonight. Hamilton against Inverness Caley Thistle, Ross County against Motherwell. Of course, Danny, you guys will be keeping your eye on the bottom end of it, because, you know, playoffs, if you're involved in them, suddenly everybody starts looking and thinking, well, who's going to be in that second bottom place in the Premiership?
Yeah, exactly. Just like last year, we had Kilmarnock. I'm not too sure if it's fair on the Championship teams, because we had to play 6 games before. But yeah, we're always keeping an eye out. I think at the moment, though, we're just focusing on making sure we're actually in a spot to challenge them. So, but I don't know who it could be. There's quite a lot of them down there at the moment.
Yeah, you could pick. Listen, you could pick, you know, 5 or 6 clubs, and I think I agree with Danny on that point. I think a lot of people have highlighted it is heavily weighted in favour of that second bottom team in the Premiership. Ruffy, should it change?
Yeah, I think it should. Yeah, it should be a fair chance for everybody to go up there. Obviously, we saw how important it was in the last couple of years. It is a big advantage. But I think that you've touched on it tonight, Inverness and Hamilton tonight, massive game. Both teams hard to find a goal, and it's going to be a really tight game tonight, and 3 points where the two of them are situated will be like gold dust.
Who's winning it?
Draw.
Danny, give us your prediction. Hamilton, Inverness. Hamilton, okay. Ross County against Motherwell, Ruffy. This one is a tricky one.
Yeah, obviously Motherwell at the weekend there, I thought they were disappointing in the second half. I thought they could have played better. They'll go up there and try and take something out of that game. You know, I definitely can't see them winning, but if they were even to get a point, it would just be a wee booster with the 3 tough games they've got coming up.
Yeah.
Well, Ross County shipped 7 past me last season, so I kind of have to go with them.
Right, okay. I'm glad you reminded us of that. I would never have brought that up, Danny. Okay, can your old team at the moment, Aberdeen, can they stop this Celtic side going through the entire season without losing a game domestically?
Tough ask, very tough ask. But I think they would probably be the only up there with one of the only teams to do it. Tomorrow night, I'm not too sure. I think Celtic are playing quite well at the moment, but I would love to see them beat them. But I think they'll be happy with a draw.
Yeah, Ruffy?
Yeah, a draw would be a good result for Aberdeen. I think they might get a wee bit more than that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Griffiths.
What's a wee bit more than a draw, Ruffy? A win?
You're going to. Now let me go through my spiel first before I tell you.
Because we've only got a minute left.
Right,
Is it going to be Aberdeen to win?
Yeah.
Aberdeen to win.
Yep.
Okay, there you are. We've got that. We've dragged it out of them. Danny, Hearts or Rangers? Tynecastle.
Hearts from my buddy Jack Hamilton.
Okay, there's always an angle on it. There you are.
Rangers.
Rangers, okay. And Partick Thistle St Johnstone. Ruffy, this could be another huge one for Alan Archibald.
It'll be a good one. A really good one in the top 6. Another home win.
Partick.
Partick, okay, there you are. Danny, it's been a joy having you on. It's straight, punchy, straight to the point. Give us his opinion. We wish you the very best of luck in your career there at Falkirk, and when you go back to make the decision at Aberdeen as well. Danny Rogers, the Falkirk goalkeeper, joining us on the programme. Don't forget, you can still check out the programme, the repeat, if you missed the Scottish Junior Cup 5th round draw. But from Ruffy, from myself, Peter Martin, from Danny Rogers of Falkirk, thanks for watching the programme. Join us at 7 tomorrow if you can.